The 2006 film Monster House might have scared some of us back in the day. In short, it's about a house that eats people. After rewatching it as an adult, the scariest thing about this film isn't the house. It's more of the motion capture animation.
Look at it! Look at it! Look at it!
Yikes. If you can recall the end, Constance, the woman whose soul is attached to the house, is set free. Or is she? Let's take a closer look, shall we? It's revealed through a flashback that Constance's life, before Nebercracker came along, was not the best. She was a circus attraction for people to come and throw tomatoes at. My question is why? She isn't an acrobat or a clown, so why would she be considered to be in the circus in the first place? Within her time at the Big Top, she's treated, well, kind of like an animal, held in a cage like Dumbo and his mother. Due to these circumstances, Constance's psyche is more damaged than the film gives credit to. If this loneliness continues, things like anxiety and depression will present themselves. But the biggest one in Constance's case is cognitive decline. Her mental regression is presented in her acts of rage. It's almost animalistic in a way. Possibly could be more dangerous than Topsy the elephant.
They'll say autopsy at my autopsy.
Did I just reference Topsy the elephant just to put that Bob's Burger clip in here? Yes, I did. Through the cruelty of the staff and crowd, she's conditioned to be mistrusting of others. Enter Nebercracker, the first person to show her kindness, breaking her out of the horrible circus life and building a home for the two to live. Constance gets two things that she never thought she would ever have: love and security. However, when one has everything they've ever dreamed of, it tends to corrupt. That isolation from the Big Top already took a toll on Constance's mental state. Even with her free and content with her life, that isn't going to change. Her primal rage is still presented when people try to harm Nebercracker or her home. When two kids come to egg her house, she feels personally attacked, probably having some flashbacks from her time in the circus. Most importantly, she associates her house as part of her.
And they're hurting me!
She never wants to go back to feeling alone or afraid, making her even more possessive of what she holds dear. In a way, she's kind of like Gollum. I actually think Nebercracker kind of looks like Gollum in some scenes. I mean, look at these guys. They're like freaking twins. Now, when her precious things are threatened, she goes all She-Hulk on the situation, letting her anger get the better of her, almost harming two people with an axe. Should she have done that? Probably not. Is it understandable why? A little bit, yeah. They really shouldn't have been egging her on like that. Now, her possessive aggression is what leads to her demise, falling and getting buried by a bunch of cement. And if I'm being honest, I don't really know how her soul got attached to the house in the first place, or like when the house became sentient. Like, was it conscious when Nebercracker was building it, or did it become conscious after completion? I don't know. All I can say is that her possessive anger continues in the afterlife. Constance is on a mission to destroy everyone who steps on her. Ooh, that sounds weird. Anyone who wants to threaten what Nebercracker and her work so hard to create in the first place will feel her wrath. For kids or teens who decide to mess with the house, she takes it upon herself to punish them. How does that work for people like doing their jobs? Like the postal carriers. Mail is delivered 6 days a week?
Because the mail never stops.
So does that mean that there's a shortage of postal carriers in this town? Or does Nebercracker have to go to the post office and get his mail every single day? I'm really just confused at the repercussions of having a monster house. But fun about the ending. As we all know, DJ uses the dynamite to explode the house into a million pieces. Everything seems great. Kids in the town get their toys back. Nevercracker seems happier, not dealing with the burden of dealing with his late wife's revenge. It's a happy ending. But is it though? I'm gonna apply some logic from another show, The Haunting of Hill House, where the house has a mind of its own. It's lit on fire, but extinguishes itself, and rooms shift places all of the time. And although this isn't the main premise of the miniseries, some quotes parallel the plot of Monster House. Olivia, who is also the actress who plays the mom in Spy Kids, it's really not that important to know, but it did make me chuckle as I was watching this show.
You know, a house is like a person's body. The walls are like bones, the pipes are veins. It needs to breathe, it needs light and flow, and it all works together to keep us safe and healthy inside.
When adding that quote to the literal situation that Constance is in, this is all she ever wanted for her husband. To keep him safe from harm, to provide for him like he did for her. That sentiment all comes crumbling down when he threatens to destroy her. She felt like she was abandoned by the one person who cared. And when the vision of Constance is presented after the explosion, I don't think this is her ghost being released. This is the idea of the previous memories that Nevercracker has of his wife. It's how he remembers her, rather than the thing she's become. Throughout the film, we see her moving trees, sidewalks, the lawn itself, etc. Constance doesn't just control the house. She's the whole entire property. Even if another house was built, Constance's soul could quite possibly possess those grounds as well. The only way to get rid of her is to properly bury her body. Look at Stanley Kubrick's version of The Shining. I do want to emphasize there is a big difference between Kubrick's film and Stephen King's novel. Oh boy, is there. In this film, the Overlook Hotel is built on a Native American burial ground. One might theorize that those bodies never had a proper place to rest, which is why they haunt the hotel. And as long as her body lays on the property, she's going to possess what she thinks is hers, feasting on people for Halloweens to come. Halloween's kind of sort of an annual thing, so you would think people would just stop visiting this house. The townspeople probably gossip, and they're probably like, oh yeah, did you hear about Susie? Yeah, Susie was dressed up like a princess and she just wanted a Snickers bar and she just got gobbled up by that house over there. Yeah, she just did. Now, although the film explains that the house must be struck directly in the heart, the kid's logic is that heart equals furnace. I would think that furnace equals stomach, but then again, the anatomy in this house does not make any sense to me whatsoever. Like, it's more confusing than a car is in cars.
Every house needs a heart.
The furnace doesn't feel like it's the most logical solution. Sure, Constance is full of rage, but I don't think it represents who she truly is. And if Constance is a house, houses are like human bodies, wouldn't the heart be more driven to who she was as a person rather than like, oh, heart equals furnace? I also just randomly Googled what the heart of the house is, and Google said it was the kitchen, but I don't know if I agree with that. I think it's the living room, but let me know in the comments down below. Sure, we've previously talked about her downfall and what brought her there, but this really isn't a representation of who she is. The only person that truly knows what Constance was like before all of the rage and anger was Nevercracker. And Nevercracker sees her as beautiful and sweet. And sure, she has some flaws when it comes to her fits of anger, but she's loyal to the people she trusts. And if the house is a representation of her, I would think it would have to be connected to Nevercracker in some way. Whether it's his study, somewhere that Nevercracker and her hold dear, because in a way, she is tethered to him. Then again, maybe not, because he did let 3 kids blow her up into smithereens, so it's not looking too good for him. Also, as a random point, we've seen this house contort itself and go back to its original shape. How do we know that it won't reassemble itself like the Iron Giant? I have way too many unanswered questions about this, but there's not really enough evidence to explain said things. So this is probably gonna keep me up for the next couple weeks. Then again, that could just be from the strange animation.
Horrible!
But hey, that's just what I think. Let me know about your theories about this movie down below. If you're looking for another spooky Halloween treat to watch, then you should click on this video right here. I hope you guys have a happy Halloween, and I'll see you next time. Bye.